last year? Do you remember their record
10 and
last year?
3,
10-3. They went 10-3 with their
6-2 in Big 12.
okay. That's okay. They went 10-3 with their superstar quarterback, and
Yes.
you take away that superstar quarterback, it's basically the same team, and so about 8 wins is basically where you'd probably see them at.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next, let's move on to Baylor. I actually think Baylor will be able to contend in the Big 12 this year, mainly because of Robert Griffin. Robert Griffin, how he plays this year is going to decide whether or not Baylor wins the Big 12 or loses 10 games. If he gets hurt, they're screwed. They're not going bowling. If he plays outstanding, he has a shot to win the Heisman. I think he's a Heisman candidate, and I do think Baylor has a shot to win the Big 12 this year. What do you guys think?
Um.
Um,
Well, Baylor. Yeah, Baylor's. I don't know if I would go as far to say that they're a. I mean, they're a contender. Yeah, but I don't take that as
I
a.
don't think
Yeah, I'm not going. I'm not going to lean towards as good as you're saying.
I'm just saying because Robert Griffin. Robert
Because
Griffin.
okay, with Robert Griffin, maybe.
I'm saying it is a long shot. I'm going to go you
Yeah,
there, but it's
that's
not
really hard. That just sounds weird. Saying
Baylor.
Baylor, yeah, that's just a weird sounding statement. Yeah, Baylor could
Well,
possibly win the
does
Big 12.
Texas going
Oh.
5-7 sound weird also?
Well, no. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
See, anything can happen. It's college football.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying it sounds weird.
That's true. It does sound weird.
I'm not proving a point. I'm just saying it sounds.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, I do think they have a shot with Robert Griffin, but we'll see down the line. All
Okay.
right, now Texas, who went 5-7 last year, something that you don't see very much out of a program like that. I I do think Texas will be around 8 or 9 wins this year.
that's what. Let's see what I have them at. I have them losing 3 games, and that's it. I mean, I was just going through their schedule, and I was marking the games that I think they'd win and the ones I thought they'd lose, and they only ended up having 3 losses on my list. I mean, there's high chance that it won't go that way, but anything can happen. I mean, that's just the way it looked to me.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but their biggest thing, the biggest question marks of the year is they revamped their entire coaching staff. Their coordinators are brand new, and basically all the coaches are new except for Mac Brown. That's basically how it is. And there's a big question at quarterback. You've got Gilbert, who played below par for what his expectations were last year, or Colt McCoy's little brother, and Case McCoy, coming as a redshirt freshman, um, who for some reason is a fan favorite, but I don't see them going anywhere with him. Um, Another thing is all three of their top cornerbacks are all coming in as true freshmen. So that's a big thing, especially in a big conference like Texas where it's nothing but offense. I mean Big 12 where it's nothing but offense. And then can they run the ball? They haven't been able to run the ball the past few years. When they've been saying that's what their main focus is, running the ball. If they're able to do that this year, then they should be able to have some type of success.
So your official prediction for Texas? Say it again, please.
8 or 9 wins.
8 or 9 wins. That sounds about right. I mean,
That,
that's. I mean, considering what they had last year, yeah, that sounds good about right. Because I don't think Gilbert's gonna. Because he had. I mean, he had a hard year, and I think
I
he's
mean,
gonna
it
learn. He's
was
gonna
better
learn from
than what the
that.
numbers say.
Yeah, but
He actually,
I think he's gonna learn from that. He's gonna come
yeah,
back.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go on to Kansas State. Kansas State. People don't really think about Kansas State as a team that actually. Um, People, whenever they think of Kansas State, they usually think bottom feeder. But in reality, that's not. When you've got a coach like Dan Snyder, uh, at the head of a football program like this, anything can happen. They went. Kansas State went 7-6 last year, and they ended the season with that wacky bowl game with Syracuse. Um, I do think Kansas State they have a shot to win 8 games, 8 or 9 games. I do think they do. They are
I have
losing
them going 6-6.
6-6. Well, yeah, I mean that's a reasonable prediction, but I do think Kansas State will be better than they were last year, even though they are losing Daniel Thomas. I do think Colin Klein, their backup quarterback from last year, is the perfect fit for Dan Snyder's style of offense, which is basically zone reads, triple option kind of thing from the spread, and he is a perfect fit because he's a run first quarterback, and but I do think Kansas State's gonna be better because Dan Snyder. He was able to take Kansas State from nothing to national championship in less than a decade. So I think Kansas State, anything can happen for Kansas State this year.
Say the sky's the limit for K-State.
Yes, exactly.
I think K-State's been. I mean, they've. I think if there's a team in the Big 12 that really, I mean, has, like you said, people think of Kansas State as bottom feeder. They don't get the respect that they sometimes deserve. You know, that kind of thing.
Here's an example. They won the past 3 times they played the University of Texas. They beat them. All 3 times. Colt McCoy never beat Kansas State. He played them twice.
Really?
Never. He
True.
played him as
It's the only team Colt McCoy never beat in the Big 12, right?
in the country.
Wait, what?
Okay.
That was the only team he played. He never beat.
I'm gonna go out and say
Yeah.
the least amount of games Kansas State's gonna win is 6, and the most they can win is probably 8. That's just me.
Yeah, I give it 6 to 8 is a good range right there for Kansas State. Mainly because it's Coach Snyder. Like Dan Snyder is just is such an outstanding coach. Anything can happen for K-State.
Sounds about right, bro.
All right, moving on. Let's go to Kansas, the other part of the state of Kansas. In there, I don't see anything happening there. I do think they're on their way up with their new coach. I still can't remember his name, but the dude that coached at Buffalo a couple years back.
Turner Gill.
Yeah, Turner Gill. That's right. Thank you, Tanner. He took Buffalo to a MAC championship a few years back. He's a great coach. I think he has Kansas. He might be taking Kansas back where they had with what's his name, Mark Mangini or whatever, Mark Mangino.
The looking guy.
Yeah, the big fat guy.
The giant man. Yes.
What's his face? Seahawks old coach. He looked like Holmgren. He looked like Holmgren. And
He looks like he ate Holmgren, bro.
Yeah, he was huge.
It looked like Holmgren ate Andy Reid. That's what he looked like.
Perfect. That's
Okay.
perfect. But he
There
was a
we
good.
go.
But they did go 11-2 one year. Kansas did back a few years ago.
I
And
remember
they did win
that.
they won the Orange Bowl against Virginia Tech.
Yes,
Turner
they
Gill
did.
has a chance to get Kansas back there, but we'll see. I think it'll be at least 4 years till he gets them there.
Yeah, and last year they went 3-9, forgettable season.
Yeah.
I see. I don't see them.
I see the same kind of season, like 3
Yeah,
years.
I would imagine 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And
Maybe a bit of improvement.
Yeah, 6. I think a 6-win season is their dream. Like to get a bowl is like their number 1 goal this year.
yeah.
That's everyone's goal if you think about it.
Well, yeah, I know.
And
But you
by
think
the
of
way,
like a school like Alabama, they're like, if we only get a bowl, that's it. Then that's a failure of a season. Like they won national championship every year.
That's true, but like if you think about everybody, like if you were to look at their goal chart, make a bowl is every team's first goal. Like
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Well-
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But this is kind of random, but the only reason why I remember who Turner Gill was is because I remember whenever Tuberville left Auburn or got fired or whatever happened, and they hired Gene Chizik. I remember North Turner was up there in the
Turner Gill.
my bad. Turner Gill was up there and who was going to be the coach. And then when they picked Gene Chizik, Charles Barkley went
Charles Barkley.
Yeah,
Yes.
he went on a big rant about Auburn being racist.
I remember that. I was like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, Charles Barkley said Auburn was racist for not hiring him. You're right.
that's dumb.
That did happen.
Whatever. Well, we'll see. Yeah, Kansas, they're not going anywhere this year. Okay, now let's move on to
Maybe in the
Oklahoma.
future, but not this year.
In the future, yeah, they will be good. But yeah, okay, let's see. Move on to Oklahoma State. Last year they had that pretty decent season at going 11-2 with that ridiculously high-powered offense with Brandon Whedon, Kendall Hunter, and Justin Blackman. But I don't think they'll repeat that success. I do think that was a once in a lifetime season with those kind of players. Maybe because they had Dana Holgerson as offensive coordinator, and he's not there anymore. So they don't have the same guy calling plays. They might not even have the same guys, the same style of offense as they did
I said they
last
go
year.
9-3.
I think that's kind of stretching. I think 8 wins, eight wins, and 9 is kind of stretching. I think 7, 8 wins is good for Oklahoma State. That's just what I
Never
think.
know though.
That is true. That's everything.
Well, that's the clue. That you can say that for everything though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
never
don't
know. That is why we turn the TV on to watch football. We don't know what's
Okay.
going to happen.